Welcome back to the Midday Bell. Today we're speaking with the newly appointed CEO of Happy Creek Minerals. It trades on the TSX-V under the symbol HPY and on the OTC under the symbol HPYCF. This conversation is for informational purposes only and is not investment advice. We dive into the company's newly strategic focus, the significance of its high-grade Fox Tungsten Project in British Columbia, the broader tungsten market dynamics, and what investors can expect as the company advances exploration, pending assays, and its 2026 development plans. Let's get into the discussion. Hi, Stephen. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's so great to have you.
Yeah, thanks so much, Rebecca. I'm excited to be here and excited to talk more about the great story at Happy Creek.
Yeah, so congratulations. You've just joined the new company as the new CEO. Can you start by sharing a bit about, how your journey went from Rio Tinto to Kinross to Centerra and now being at Happy Creek?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a mining engineer by background, and I cut my teeth working for Rio Tinto in Australia in the iron ore business in a variety of different operational roles. And that was a great learning experience for me to really understand the mining industry from the ground up. After that, I moved to Kinross and then Centerra in a variety of corporate development roles. So my focus was on projects and M&A, but excited to be now at Happy Creek, working as the CEO, as you mentioned, and excited to be doing something that's more entrepreneurial after coming from a career with big companies.
Yeah, speaking of like working for big companies, that would have given you, a tremendous amount of experience working with, leaders that have, a wealth of experience actually growing companies, maybe from small all the way to large cap. Can you talk about how like those experiences working with those individuals or at those companies are going to shape your leadership style at Happy Creek?
Yeah, absolutely. I think big companies are a great training ground, right? For when you're earlier in your career, you learn the best way to do things, the right way to do things, the safest way to do things. And so I think my experience there working with experts in both the operational and technical field, but also in the corporate and more business focused fields as well, really give me a diverse skill set to bring those best practices now to Happy Creek and start moving the project forward in a meaningful way.
And also, like at your time with those major producers, is there any like specific lessons that you might have learned that could help, a junior company, which obviously has, a lot of, miles to go and, risks and things to navigate that could kind of help, make this company go from, a small cap company and grow it and make it and build its shareholder value and make an exciting
Mhm.
opportunity.
Yeah, I think it's one is a focus on creating value. Um, Fox Tungsten is a great asset. It's a very high grade asset, and it's that's our key differentiator is our grade in a critical commodity. Second is the importance of people and community relations and fostering those relationships. I think that's something that big companies do very well. At Kinross, at Rio Tinto, at Centerra, I think that's something that we had a proud history of, and that's something that I look forward to doing at Happy Creek as well.
Actually, and I'd love to talk a bit more about those, about the relationships, especially with the First Nations. Can you talk about what the relationship is with Happy Creek and those groups and why that's an important to this company being successful?
Yeah, absolutely. So Happy Creek and our Fox project is located in the traditional territories of the Cannon Lake Band. They've been a strong partner of Happy Creek over the years. We have a great relationship with them, and I look forward to working with them collaboratively to move the project forward.
That's great because that's such an important thing to have established, to have really good relationships because that can obviously hold up projects significantly. So it's really good to hear that. I'm curious too, like what initially attracted you to Happy Creek, and what made you want to step into that role? I know you talk about tungsten and how it's now is a timely environment for that kind of resource. Can you, tell me a little bit why you like the company?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's two parts. One is, as you say, it's an exciting time for tungsten as a commodity. We've seen a lot of interest in the space. 80% of world's tungsten comes from China, and there are no tungsten mines operating in North America right now. And so for tungsten, which is a critical input into not just industrial supply chains, but military supply chains, there's been a huge focus on bringing that production into North America and hopefully soon into BC. When we talk about Fox in particular and why Happy Creek, again, it goes back to grade. we have the highest grade tungsten resource in North America. It's at surface and it's open everywhere. And so I think we're in a unique position here to accelerate exploration, accelerate development, and hopefully have a profitable asset and a mine in the near future.
And the board has also mentioned that this is an important time for exploration programs. From your perspective, why is this such a pivotal time for this?
Yeah. So we did a strategic reset of the company when we sold our Highland Valley property to Metal Energy. And that provided an opportunity for the company to refocus on Fox. So that's what we'll be doing going forward. Fox will be our main project. And we look forward to advancing and really focusing our spending and our energies on developing that project and bringing it closer to production.
And you've also talked about, the Fox project being having the highest grade tungsten project in North America. Can you talk about kind of more about those strong fundamentals, and just a bit more about kind of what's going on at that project drilling wise? I know you've announced some recent drilling results. Like what kind of excites you about what's coming out of there?
Yeah, absolutely. So we recently finished our 2025 drill program. Those assays are pending and should be released to the market soon. I don't have them yet. I don't know what they are, but we know that we hit the right rocks, and we can see one of the unique things about tungsten and scheelite is it glows under black light. And so we don't have the assays, but we know there's tungsten there because we saw it glowing. And so we've demonstrated, I think, and I hope that we've extended the resource at the RC zone incrementally to the south, and that's what we hope to continue to do in 2026.
Speaking of 2026, so what are going to be kind of the top priorities next year that you expect, that investors can be watching for over the next 12 months?
Yeah. So in 2026, my overall goal is to maximize the size of the inferred resource at Fox and use that as a launching pad to further the engineering studies, do a resource update, and ultimately do a PEA. So I'm hoping we did a small program last year. I'm hoping to do a larger program in 26 and use that as our foundation to change the story from an exploration story to a project development story.
I love that. That's very exciting. So where do you see some of the greatest opportunities of value creation across your portfolio? It sounds like Fox Tungsten, but what about Silver Boss or Hen-Art DL, or through partnerships like the Metal Energy Royalty and equity position?
Yeah, absolutely. So our main focus next year will be on resource delineation and expansion at Fox. But as you mentioned, we also have the Silver Box and the Hen-Art properties, and those are exciting but earlier stage projects. And so I hope to continue doing geophysics, mapping, similar generative stage stuff so we can keep those projects moving in parallel because you're absolutely right. Those are exciting assets for us. And while our focus will be Fox, we want to make sure we don't lose sight of some of the other value creation opportunities we have.
And I'm curious too, just to kind of pick your knowledge about the tungsten market, where can you tell us a little bit like where it stands and where do you think it's going to be going in the near future? Obviously, you talked about military contracts and other things like that. I'm just kind of curious what your thoughts are.
Yeah, absolutely. So tungsten has had a great run this year, and that's really on the back of some of the geopolitical issues that we've seen happening. China is, as I mentioned, home to about 80% of world tungsten production, and they've demonstrated that they're willing to weaponize their dominance in this space to achieve some of their broader trade objectives. And so I think this has really awoken the market to the importance of tungsten in some of these supply chains and to the fact that it is such a concentrated market outside of North America.
Happy Creek has seen, impressive run since the summertime, actually. There's been maybe a 300% interest or 400% interest in the share price. What can you kind of tell me about? Obviously, there's investors are getting very excited about the project. And I'm just wondering is there any message you'd like to share with shareholders as you stepped into this new role?
Yeah, it's great to see the recent increase in the share price. I think the market is starting to catch on to what we have here and to the importance of tungsten. And I hope that's a trend that continues again as we release our drill results going into the new year and as we start to talk more about the bigger exploration program that we're going to have for 2026.
I think I've taken enough of your time. I really appreciate you joining. Congratulations on, becoming the CEO. This is still obviously the beginning stages of your involvement, and there's assays pending and a lot that's going to be exciting happening in the new year, especially with this being the highest grade tungsten project in North America. I'm thrilled to just see what's going to come out of the story. And I just want to say congratulations again and thank you for your time.
Thanks very much, Rebecca. It was a pleasure to speak to you and look forward to updating you and the rest of the market on the Fox project as we move forward.
That wraps up today's interview with Happy Creek Minerals CEO Stephen. A big thank you to him for sharing his insights on the company's vision, the Fox Tungsten Project, and the milestones investors should be watching in the months ahead. If you found this conversation helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more CEO interviews and market coverage here on the MidDay Bell. Thanks for watching.